Welcome everybody. Mustang Sally, wonderful song, originally done by Sir Mac Rice, and I'm focusing on the Wilson Pickett version. It's one of my favorites, although Sir Mac Rice does a great job. I mean, you know. Wilson seems to have the version because it's popular that most people cover. So we're going to go over that, the structure of the song, which 12/8, so it's a little bit different as far as blues measures go. But once you get it down, it's pretty much intro, verse, and turn around and repeat. And there's two guitars, there's horns, which I did figure that out for you, and there's a overdub guitar we'll talk about. We're in key of C. So basically what we're going to be doing, the chords will be C, and then we'll go right below to an F and then G. Over from there. Alright? We're going to be stretching to 2 frets away, which would be, if we're playing this chord, that would be the 6th note and the 7th back to 6th. Alright? So when it starts out, there's no slide into the chord where the rest of it slides in, but we just start by hitting the C power chord, the 5th and 4th, the 6th and 5th string, and then we're going to pick the 6th to the 5th string, but this will be now at the 12th fret. Then back to the 6th string, which would be at 10, and then we're going to stretch it up to 13, hit that, back to the 6th string, and then back to 12 on the 5th. Okay, now the second time you do it, you actually slide in. So it's only when we do this intro, which is reprised, okay? They do the intro again. So it's a measure of 4 times through this, with the very first one just playing the chord and the next 3 times sliding in. So let's do the intro, the first measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that is the intro. Now we're into the verse. Now the verse is going to do a slide in 4 times. That's a measure. We'll do 2 measures. All right. So as we start the verse, we're getting into the 12/8 count. So we're going to have 8 times through that, or 2 measures. All right, you get that. Then we're going to, on the 3rd measure, we'll move to a slide into our F from an E, and then do the same 12, 13, 12, but playing off the 5th and 4th string. Alright, so when we do that, we're going to do that for 4 times. Alright? Then we go back to our C. Alright, our C will be another measure, and then we turn things around. Now the turnaround is a little bit different. Again, we've got 2 guitars going, so keep this rhythm in your head, because the other guitar kind of messes with you with what he's doing, and we have the bass playing a little bit different also. But when we go to the turnaround, we're going to slide in just like we have from the chord above to the chord below. So this will be F sharp into G. And then we'll move our pinky up. This time it will be 14, 15, back to 14. Then we just hit the chord, pause, and then you'll hear 3 strikes and move down. So I showed you 9ths I've written out. Okay, 9th chord. We're going to start out on the 10th fret, 5th string, 9th fret on the 4th string, and then covering 10 on the 3rd and 2nd. Alright, you can also do a 7th, which both sound good. It's really a dealer's choice there. I actually debated about which one to write out, but they both sound so good. All right, and then when you get to that F, just slide down, and then we'll come back in with our intro. All right, into verse 2. So that is the structure of the main guitar. So the second guitar is doing octaves. All right, it'll sound like this. That's the intro. So the intro with the octaves, the timing is different. You listen for that because you'll only do the set of octaves twice. Where in the intro and playing the little pinky stuff, we're doing it 4 times. So listen for the timing and don't confuse with, the other guitar. So listen for the C, and then we're going to go to G and then A sharp and back to C. That C we hold for 4 counts and then start again. Okay, so those octaves, that's the intro, twice through. Then we're into the verse. Now each verse, I did write these out individually just because there's one measure where it's a little bit different. When we get to the third measure, there's one little different part. Not sure if it was overdubbed or just dubbed in, but either way, you'll hear it once you play it. Okay, so for going to the 4 chord, which, we're in the key of C, the 4 chord be right below our F, we're not doing octaves. All right, we're doing notes. So the notes, so let me do just one time through the C and then I'll show you the change. Okay, so you can see that change there. What we're doing is we're going to play, once we move from the C in the 4 count, we move to this, use the 6th position because we're going to hammer from 6 to 8. But you want to start off on the 8th position, 5th string, okay, 2 count, and then we're going to hammer in 6 to 8 twice and hold that for a 2 count. Do it again, then do it once, and then go back into the octaves twice to finish out. Now we do the turnaround. The turnaround, similar here to what we've just did, but the timing's different. We're going to go to 10, hold that for 4 counts, 10 again for 2 counts, and then a couple 8/10s, and then a 6/8, and slide down. All right, so let's see. Let's do one measure of the whole change and then the turnaround. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we start again. So really pay attention to that because you'll hear the bass doing it a little bit different and it can be confusing. And there's no left and right in this. This was recorded in mono. I tried separating the channels out, but it's all one track. So with these octaves, verse 3, the main guitar just plays normally, if you will. But the octave guitar, you can hear him change it just slightly. And I've highlighted this in green in verse 3. So verse 3, we're going to start out with the octave and then quickly move to the second half of the octave. So it'll sound like this. So he adds an extra G to A sharp and then C. So his timing is just slightly different, and honestly, it sounds punched in there. It just, maybe he messed up and they punched it in. I'm not sure. But that is in verse 3. So if you're interested, I highlighted it in my notes. It doesn't affect guitar 1 because he's still doing the... It's just the timing of the octaves in verse 3. So for the horn, you can do a nice little double stop here at the second string 13, first string 12. Then we move to the 10th fret on the first string, 12th fret on the second. Move that down a step to 8 and 10, and then to 8. All right, so we have this. All right, you know, again, once you hear Mustang Sally, the horn kind of comes up. So if you do a volume swell, you'll be able to play along with that. So for the horn, you can do a nice little double stop here at the second string 13, first string 12. Then we move to the 10th fret on the first string, 12th fret on the second. Move that down a step to 8 and 10, and then to 8. All right, so we have this. All right, you know, again, once you hear Mustang Sally, the horn kind of comes up. So if you do a volume swell, you'll be able to play along with that. But again, I've written that out, so that's in my notes. And the last thing I want to talk about is the fill guitar, because as we get into verse 4, the intro gets reprised, and we go into the first half of this verse, and it starts fading out. But you'll hear a guitar do this. All right. And the first time, it's basically just the the fourth, third, and second string slid back and then back from. Okay, so what we're doing is the fourth, third, and second string, we're going to strike it at the 3rd fret, slide back to 2, and then slide back into 3. Now, the first time he does it, you just hear one slide, and the rest, it's kind of quieter because he's fading back and forth. All right, so you'll hear this. And that's just the extra guitar that you hear in this. So I like to give you everything in the song, and you can add that to, you know, how you're playing it. You can even do the C here. Listen for the timing, you'll be able to get it. So I really hope that helps everybody. This is a song I tried years ago, and I was like, what are they doing? It's so odd. And it's just the timing. So once you know the timing, and like I said, my notes will help, you'll be able to play it. So I hope it helps, and enjoy.